Peace and welcome to the Message to the Black Fan program. I am your host, Sister Angela Freeman, author of God's Gift. And today I am joined by one of my most favoriteest people in the whole wide world, my good brother Body Shots. How you doing today, brother Body Shots?
I'm doing good. Peace, sis. Thanks for having me on. Hotep to the Black family.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I feel blessed. I got this world famous lecturer and scholar, self-taught scholar in the house. Always very impressive, knows a little bit about everything. I'm afraid to say anything because I know he'll call me out on it in a minute if I start cooning or even look like I'm about to start cooning. And it's vicious. All right. Well, today's topic is going to be interracial dating. And actually, the first title that I had for it wasn't really child friendly. It was White Women, Barbies, or Bitches. Because it seems like, we are sold this false propaganda, these sweet, innocent little devils just running around, and everybody wants them, and they're so much better than everybody else. And we tend to neglect the history behind that. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Where did this whole thing with black men being in love with white women come about? Because back in the day, it wasn't unheard of. I mean, it did go on the down low, but it was nowhere near where it was now.
Wow. If I would pinpoint a single event in our history, I would have to say it was coming out of the civil rights movement with the push towards integration. When we were, I don't want to put it, given access to white community, white culture, and you see the breaking away of the black family, and I guess that's when the chase was on for the milk of magnesia, as I like to put it. I'm lactose intolerant. I get the itching if I'm too close to a Becky. But I would say around the 60s or the 70s is where we started to see increase. And as we know today, looking at the statistics, black men find themselves in, well, they're not men, black males, I should say, find themselves at a higher rate crossing over the color lines. As Stevie Wonder would say, the harmony of ebony and ivory.
And even before it became widespread, we always hear about black women getting raped even during our enslavement. But isn't it true that some of the white mistresses would get it in a little bit too?
Oh man, this is very true. Actually, I was reading a story the other day. I believe it was one of the kings of England, and I can't remember which one it was. King Henry, one of those kings from England back in the 16th, 17th century. His wife, the queen, had gave birth to a chocolate baby, and the king's looking around like, well, how did this happen? And the story has it that the priest told the king that the queen had looked too hard at one of the servants, and the baby came out with some melanin. So yes, they have received a pass, so to say, as far as their sexual exploits and sexual abuse of the black male, who was also under their dominion from the time that they came to the continent through slavery, colonialism, and also Jim Crow.
That's funny, and it's a little off topic, but not really. There was this movie, I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Skin. Have you ever seen it before?
No, I never seen it.
This is the funniest thing ever. It used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but it was in South Africa. It was a white woman and a white man, and they had a white son. Their next child, or I don't know if it was the older one or the younger one. I think it was the younger one. She was a daughter, and now she was obviously black. I mean, she looked like a female Nelson Mandela. Like, no joke. If you could imagine Nelson Mandela as a female, which ain't too far off point given some of his policies, but if you could
Right.
imagine Nelson Mandela as a female, this is what this little child looked like. And they swore up and down that this child was white. They fought to have her listed as white instead of colored. And she went through her whole life with her parents trying to make everybody believe she was white and it was some kind of genetic deformity. Even though we know that she's looking dead on all the black tribes that are in that area. And then when she got older, she finally decided to go and be with the black people. But they're still trying to say she's white, but it's just easier for her to be around the black people than the racist white people. So, I mean, they do these things, and then I mean, they come up with the biggest lies, and people watching this movie, I'm reading the reviews like, wow, that's so interesting. Who knew that could happen? I mean, for all the people that say that, white people can't produce a black baby, what do they say now? We say, no, that's what we say now. Are you kidding me?
Right. Now that wasn't off topic. Yeah. Cover it up. Do not cause reproach to the lily white flower.
That's right. And the reason I even bring that up about that during our enslavement is because I think it's kind of tied still into what goes on today, because even in today, especially living in a racist society, but just period, there's still that power play. So it's almost like black men today sometimes I think are getting with white women so that they can feel like I'm in control or I have power. But really it seems to be the opposite. It seems like the more you are with a white woman, the more effeminized you are. You don't have that power over her like you think that you do.
Right. And that's very true. It amazes me the ignorance of black males to think that somehow them laying down with a white dog is somehow revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it, the white females that they even have access to, either the ones that white males don't want, or the ones that white males have sent in for a specific purpose as an agent, so to speak. So it really baffles me that we can intellectualize both racial treason and ignorance to who the white female has been to us as a people historically, and who she is even today.
I know that's right. It's crazy to me because it seemed like any white woman will do. I mean, you don't even get the one that almost looks human. You gotta get. I mean, these brothers be killing me because they'll be with this whale-looking beast, right? And then, like, I'll be downtown on they call it the People Mover. It takes you around downtown. I'll be on there, and some dude will be on there walking this dog, and then he'll be looking at me like, yeah, look what I got. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. And that's something that brothers didn't really used to do too much back in the day. I mean, they would have their white woman or whatever, but they wouldn't like try to put it in your face and make you angry or anything like that. But now they blatant with it. And they be like, I'm gonna get mad over this. I mean, she looks like a snuffleupagus. Are you kidding me? I don't get it. Have some standards.
I know there is no standards. Like you said, anyone will do. I mean, it's a state of psychosis, really. I don't know what they're looking at. For me, I don't find anything white to be my standard of beauty anyway. But I mean, dang, if you are, I mean, I've seen some of the just shapeless, just recalcitrant whores, and the brother be. The other be walking down the street, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just, oh man, and I don't know, maybe it comes from a God complex, you know? Maybe we've been so conditioned and socialized. Like I was listening to this rapper out now, Trinidad James, this song All Gold Everything, where he keeps saying the N-word, N all through it. Are you familiar with that song?
No, I've never heard that song. I'm gonna have to check it out. Not that I mean, it
Uh,
sounds like it's something I don't want to check out, but I'm gonna check it out because you're talking about it.
yeah, it's just quite the club banger. It came out, I guess, in the summertime, but in it he says that he loves Asian and white women. But later in the song, he says, "This goes out to those bad hoes at Spelman." And when I heard it, everybody's all hyped up about the song, and I was like, "Wow, that's deep." So the hip hop culture doesn't seek to degrade the white female. In fact, it elevates the white female because he says he loves Asian and white women. But later on in the song, this coon goes on to say that this song goes out to those bad hoes at Spelman. So black women, no matter where you are on the social stratum, education wise, economic wise, these are sisters at Spelman going to get their higher education. He's calling them bad hoes. So this is the type of psychology that is promulgated throughout our community, and and it really highlights the fact that the white female has been unscathed, untouched. And I think when I say it, going back to the civil rights is when it really started, because of their oppression by their own white males, even coming out of Greek culture, where they could not own property, they cannot vote in the so-called birth of democracy, going down through Roman culture, even up to U.S. I've seen laws in the books in the U.S. that a white male could beat his white wife with a stick, but it can only be so big. So because of that oppression by their own mates, they joined themselves to the civil rights movement, and the outbirth of that was feminism. But uh, I think their joining in of the civil rights movement as them being an oppressed sector of the population, it kind of allowed us to embrace them as we had some type of sisterhood or some type of fellowship with them. Um, but yeah, it's definitely something we need to address because who else was the standard heir of the plantation but the white female?
That's true.
Who ran the plantation when the white male either was deceased or away on business? So these are the things that we definitely need to look at as we continue to elevate the white female and degrade the black female.
Yes, sir. And it's also amazing to me now that black women want these. I'm sorry, black men want these white females after our history. I mean, how many black people have got lynched because some white
Mm.
woman lied and said somebody raped me, and you know daggone well no black man has to rape a white woman. They are there, willing, ready, and able. Ain't nobody got to rape you. Um, so all these lies for all this time, and all these black men being hung from trees, our ancestors. I mean, it seems to me they would just be turning over in their grave to see black men cooling like this now.
Yeah, it's remarkable. I mean, if we go back to the 1930s with the Scottsboro Boys, here you have 9 teenage boys, black boys, um, from the ages of 13 to 16, riding on a train, minding their business, sort of like the Oscar Grant thing. And these white boys get out of line, so the brothers check them. But when they take the L, they lose the fight. Then they go to these two females, these two white dogs, and tell them to tell the authorities and collaborate a story that these 9 black boys from the ages of 13 to 16 have raped these females. So they're locked up. Uh, the case reached like national attention. All 8 of them was given the death penalty, and the ninth one, because he was 13, it was a hung jury. And the only reason why the jury was hung because they couldn't decide whether they wanted to give him life or give him death.
Wow.
And so later it came out that these two white females, the reason why they even had semen still in their filthy wombs was the fact that they was having wild sex orgies with these crackers the night before. So these young boys in the 30s had their lives ruined um, at the behest of white females. Not only that, we see the same type of scenario with the Central Park jogger. Uh, and even in the fact that it's called the Central Park jogger, she wasn't the victim. The victim was the young black males who were wrongly convicted and charged with her rape, and it had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Um, so this has been our historical interaction with white females. Not only that, I, I want to talk about George Steiny, one of the youngest people to ever be executed by this stolen land society here in the hills of North America. At 14 years old, he was convicted of killing 2 white females. Now, if George Steiny was here today, he would let us all know, without reservation or hesitation, that the white female is not a Barbie, but she's a cave bitch. And what happened was he was executed. His trial and his jury was selected, and his trial happened all in one day. And his family was ran out of the county. So at 14 years old, he was made to endure this by himself. And I believe it was less than 3 months he was on his way to the electric chair at 14 years old. And he carried a Bible with him. And do you know that these savages, they made him take the Bible because he was too small for the electric chair. They made him take this Bible, and he had to use the Bible as a booster seat to be electrocuted by the state. Now, those 2 white little females that died, I know it wasn't the rebel that did it. I'm glad they did die. But the bitch that I really want to hone in and that we need to understand in this scenario is not those 2 little cracker bitches, but it's an adult cracker bitch that knew what she was doing. And now today, it is known because a white male testified to being the culprit of those murders on his deathbed. So he's dead and gone. But what happened was his relative, a white cave bitch, was on the jury.
Wow.
Let me say it again. George Steiny, 14 years old, executed for the murder of 2 white females. The white male that did it, his female family member was on the jury and was one of the main pushers for the execution of this young black boy. So this has been our historical relationship to the white female. She is an agent of white supremacy. She is no less involved. Her hands are just as dirty as the white male. And we ain't gonna never get out of this situation until we realize and snatch this whore off, this whore of Babylon, this timeless, putrid whore off this pedestal of righteousness and the lily white flower, and really start to degrade her for the whore that she is.
Now, I know earlier you had mentioned feminism a little bit, and one thing that has really messed my head up lately is this relationship that's seeming to grow between black women and white women. All of a sudden, we're not getting offended anymore if our men are engaging in interracial dating. We're not, getting as offended if we see them walking this woman, female, down the street in front of us, or even in African-centered events. They bring these people. I'm trying to be good. It's not going to last too much longer, I can tell. They bring these bitches to these African-centered events, parade them all in front of us like they are just, what's up? And we sit there and we do nothing anymore. Is it because we're starting to date interracially now that you think all of a sudden we're cool with it, or is it something else that's kind of numbing that feeling that we used to get?
Like I said, with the hip hop, a lot of the movies or the juries that we see, Precious, one of the worst films of my lifetime is For Colored Girls Only. These Tyler Perry films, I think in conjunction with the feminists, is the homosexualization of the black male, and I guess feminism is the rationale for lesbianism, is like intellectual lesbianism. Uh, it has broken us down so much to where we don't have any standards as a people. Um, we it's I, and then I mean you got stuff like scandal going on now, and it's man, the situation is looking critical. But the feminist has been working steadily to destroy black women from the bond of their black men. So, and then you have media reports. I know Oprah did some stuff about black women being single because black men are uneducated, incarcerated, or dope heads. So it, there's been a statistical lie pushed to our women that there is no other option but to go white, you know. Uh, so we're catching it on all sides, sis.
We are, and I think we need to wake up because what I've noticed, it, I first started noticing it maybe back in the late 80s, early 90s, is that white people are very crafty, very sinister, and they started studying black women a long time ago because it was a time when, I mean, you have some of your upper class black men who would do some interracial dating, or you might dip and dive sometimes, but white women were generally not the preference because they smelled funny. The body shape was not up to par. They don't look good. The older they get, the scarier it gets. So they were not the woman of choice for our men. But I watched them start studying us, and all of a sudden, they're getting collagen injections, and they're getting breast implants, and they're at the gym all the time working out. And meanwhile, black women started getting weaves, started dyeing our hair blonde, started not caring about our weight, getting just as nasty, well, not as nasty looking as them, but I mean, getting close. I mean, as far as we got some funny shaped women going on right now in the black community. We're not taking care of ourselves because we're not exercising, we're not eating right. We're becoming very odd shaped, and we didn't used to be like that. The average black woman walking down the street looked pretty much like the women you see on the videos. It wasn't that much different. They had more makeup on, but black women used to be very beautiful, very attractive, and that's becoming less and less. While white women are trying to do their best um, to follow in our image. Now they twerking. Miley Cyrus, I don't know what you call that fiasco. Twerk again, I guess that was God. That was hideous. Tongue all hanging out your mouth, shaking her imagination. I don't know what that was, but they're slowly trying to get the things that used to make us unique and take that over. And we're losing all that because we're trying to imitate them. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus twerk. Even I haven't even seen it. I don't even want to see it. But that is the white female dilemma of the 21st century. How do we get rid of the beautiful black goddess so that we can replace her? Uh, it. I mean, even when I'm going into the gym, I see very few sisters in the gym. It's mainly crack females. So I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know about that one, but yeah, they white females. I see them out jogging. They be running with their little strollers, giving
You
the
like
little
10
cracker
degrees
babies
out.
brain hemorrhaging. Uh, so they eating healthy. They're eating more cleaner than we are. So it wow, we dug ourselves in a pretty pretty big ditch. I guess at this point in time we just need to stop digging and figure out how we will get out of this hole. But uh, not only that, uh, the fact that the black woman has been so demonized, and now you're seeing white women in the tanning salons. It was a story last year of a white female taking her daughter to the tanning salon.
Mhm.
That one burnt the little crackers to a crisp. to be like you, black woman. But when you were talking about that just now, are you familiar with Tamar Braxton, one of the Braxtons?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you familiar with her relationship with her husband?
I did watch a couple episodes of their little program.
So she been bleaching, and her husband just went on an interview and said that she got the same thing Michael Jackson got. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
but the reason why I brought that up is because I seen her in an interview because I couldn't believe this. So I seen her in an interview. She said that her husband only dated white women, and
Oh,
so she tries very hard. And this is admitted out of her mouth. She tries her best to look as white as she can to keep her husband pleased.
are you kidding me?
If that ain't a sickness, I don't know.
That's the sickness. 'Cause have you seen her dude?
Yeah.
Okay, we.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, how does this happen? How do you create the social confusion to where black women want to be white while white females are trying to be black women? It makes absolutely no sense to me.
It doesn't. And I was talking to a group of teenagers and young adults yesterday. Usually I deal with a little bit older crowd. Teens kind of make me nervous sometimes. I don't know if they really going to listen or what the reaction was going to be. But I was talking to some teen girls yesterday, and I was telling them that a real black man, somebody of good character, somebody who would be considered marriage material, when they look for a woman, they're going to look for a woman who is confident, with herself and her natural beauty. If she's light skinned, if she's dark skinned, no matter how nappy the hair is, if you think it's beautiful, which it is, and you're comfortable with it and you're not trying to be something you're not, that is a good sign for a man looking for a spouse. That kind of sets you apart and you get approached a little differently and by a different quality of man. Do you agree with that? Would you pursue somebody that had like a blonde wig and looking kind of crackerish?
Oh man, you hit the nail on the head with that one. It nothing creates a pursuit in me or my desire for a black woman than a black woman who's comfortable in her own skin. That is the highest. That is like the apex of my pursuit is to find a black woman who's not dressing like a whore, who puts on clothes when she walks out the house, one who is intellectual, uh, one who is decent and moral and positive. So no man that is looking for anything lasting and meaningful is going to do that with a female that all she does is twerk on the spare time and her only exercise is sliding up and down a pole. Um, that is not going to give you the type of attention that you're looking for out of a meaningful relationship. Um, Also, we have this thing with natural women dating crackers. I'm seeing that more and more black women embracing their natural features, but then going and giving it away to the slave master.
You know what? That's so true, and I'm not even gonna pull David into this because he'd be like, "I ain't coming over there." But he has brought this to my attention more than once because he used to work at a place with a sister who was dating crackers, and they were just making fun of her. She was like the laughing stock. They were like passing her around. A lot of times, black women will do that because a certain quality of black men do not like natural hair. We all know that they want that permed out European look. But instead of looking for a better quality man and hanging tight until they find him, they say, well, white men accept me. White men love my nappy hair. They love my body. They love that. They love that. But they don't realize that they do, but that's because you're a novelty. It's not that they love you and appreciate your natural beauty and they want to create something with you. You're a novelty. You're a trinket. You're a trophy. Just like the African mask they may hang up in their house because they took a safari in Kenya or something. You're the same way. You're just a trophy.
Right, right.
And that's something I don't think that we're getting, and maybe if we did, we'd be a little bit more comfortable with ourselves. But I'm glad that I was able to talk to you today because I was telling them this yesterday, And they seem to get it, but it always helps coming from a man. If you're saying, well, a man thinks this, well, a man needs to kind of be the one to say it. But when you're looking for that partner, you're looking for somebody who reflects you. And if you're a decent, intelligent, strong black man, then no cave bitch is going to do that for you. But
Yeah.
honestly, neither is a black woman who is not comfortable in her own skin.
Right, that's true. And I believe that it was out of the Nation of Islam, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, that said, when you find no decent women, you find no decent men. So black women definitely have to stop in our tracks and really start to do some critical thinking. I mean, I've even seen women embrace their natural hair and then colored red. Like, how do you embrace yourself and then hate yourself at the same time? So we all definitely suffering from a state of psychosis. Um, Not only that, there's been an increase in this young black females chasing after this Marilyn Monroe look. Is that the same out where you are?
What do you mean by Marilyn Monroe look? I've done seen the eyelashes that kind of look like this. Um,
You ain't about that lash life.
that's right. I don't know nothing about that. um, but as far as dress, yes, I haven't seen like the actual hairstyle, but it does seem to be like we want to be this sex kitten, Marilyn Monroe, Jessica Rabbit kind of thing, and it ends up looking a hot mess a lot of
Oh man, the desire to look like the timeless whore. Yeah, these black women are wearing like this like caked up red lipstick, like real bright red lipstick, and they got these little like earring things in their cheeks or their lips, and yeah, with the eyelash they going on. I mean, I ain't never seen a pickaninny. I was like, dang, I didn't have to be in Jim Crow to see a pickaninny. We got pickaninny since 2013. I mean, come on, black woman. Come on, black woman. You cannot. And see, this comes full circle from some self-hate and how a lot of black women were raised by other black women that didn't love themselves. So it's no way that I'm gonna, as a mother, not not love myself and raise a child that will love itself.
it. Yeah, and I think a lot of times it's because we seek attention and we want to be unique, but we go so far in our quest to be unique that we end up kind of looking like a clown. I talked about this a little bit in God's Gift, like, makeup ain't supposed to morph you into like a whole new unrecognizable person. You're supposed to be able to know who you are, but we get like really, really carried away with it. And then sometimes, and this is, I ain't gonna go too far off into that, but sometimes it almost makes you look homosexual because a lot of them are into the self mutilation and just wild out there. Don't really want to look. I don't know. A lot of us, the way we're wearing our makeup, the way we're wearing our hair, some of the things we're doing to our bodies, almost resemble transvestites. And I'm not even. It's funny, but I'm not even being funny now. It's times I really look at a woman like, and I call it like guess the genitalia because you don't know you're looking for the Adam's apple, but it's not there, and checking for the tone of voice, and you like, is that really? And sometimes it really is a woman, but you done did all this stuff, and now you looking like a tranny because they have to do all this stuff to be a woman, and you have it naturally. I mean, just put
Yep.
some Vaseline on you, nothing wrong with it.
Exactly, exactly. And also in God's gift, it was one of the like it was so simple, but it was profound. You said less is more, and I can't stress that enough. It's nothing that you can go down to the corner store and get from some daggone Koreans that's going to trump what Pata, the creator, has already put his hands on. It's no amount of makeup. First off, makeup is supposed to touch a few blemishes here and there. It's not supposed to make up a whole new face. I mean, that's really scary. I don't know what I'm gonna get if I take that home. I've always put that on ice. I don't do makeup, but it really goes to the fact of self-love. And Dr. Amos talks about this a lot too. If you don't love yourself, you're going to destroy yourself. And one of the things I find with a lot of black women's fashion uh, is that it's a diversion from the true you. you're so unsatisfied and you're so in an unhealthy relationship with yourself that you don't want anybody else to see that. So you gotta have this bright lipstick, you gotta have these crazy colors, you gotta be tatted up with sleeves on all these arms, you gotta have all these wild piercings going everywhere, you gotta have half your head shaved off with weave on the other side of your head. I mean, it just do not look at the real me because I am not satisfied with being a wholesome black woman that God created.
I know that's right. You know, and I'm gonna get back to interracial relationships in a minute, but I just want to tell black women because I know when those styles became popular. Because I ain't gonna lie, I was cooning. I had like my hair was short over here, and it came around back, and it was like longer over here, and it was dyed orange, and then in the back it was like long down my back, down my back. So I had like three different lengths of hair going on, and it was orange. And you know, because Salt and Pepper was big back then, and they was doing their thing. And then I heard an interview once where they said the reason they did it was because one of them had bleached their hair blonde, and it fell out on one side, and they didn't want to cut it all off, so they cut it short on one side, kept it long on the other, and that's where all these asymmetrical cuts came from, is because they damaged their hair bleaching it. I'm like, are you
Wow.
serious? That's why I was walking around looking like a coon because she done messed her hair up.
That's crazy.
It is. And one last thing, because I know we've been talking about black women or white women who have been trying to become more like black women, and in the process have got the attention of our men. Can you tell us the story of Sarah Bartman? I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it, and how that affected some of the fashion trends and white women.
Oh wow, Sarah Bartman. I believe she was from South Africa or the Congo. I'm not. I'm not too sure of her origin.
I believe it was
Uh,
South Africa.
South Africa. Okay, she nah, nah. Okay, I'm very familiar with it. With her, the Hottentot Venus is what she was called
Right.
in Europe. Did she go to Europe looking for a better life, or was she?
I believe that they tricked her into going to Europe. They
Okay,
said,
okay.
you know, come with me because I believe, I don't know if she was enslaved already. I believe she was, but they told her, come with me. And so she went over there to Europe with them and found out that what they told her was not going to be the case. And they started putting her on display.
Mm.
And because she had an abnormally, so-called abnormally big behind and genitalia, and it was completely the opposite of anything a white woman could have. So they would take her to carnivals and to basically she was a sideshow, a circus sideshow. And they would get their little microscopes and look at her body. She'd be totally naked looking at her body. And she ended up passing away not too long after she got there, maybe a few years after she got there, from some disease. And there's speculation about what that disease was. But I think they had even kind of made her, of course, a prostitute, because if you look at somebody's body, obviously you're going to want it.
Right.
And we know that they're the biggest violators on the planet. So that is what it is. But even when she died, they cut up all her organs, her brain, her buttocks, her genitalia, all that, and had it displayed in a French museum. And I think they just returned it like in 2002. So for
Mm.
like over 100 years, they had these body parts sitting there, would not let her even have the dignity of a decent burial. But the thing was, as far as the fashion, white women, of course, saw their men looking at these bodies, and of course, these white lesbian bitches was looking right there with her, with their men, in awe of this black woman's body. And so they wanted to steal that image. They see their men kind of liking it, and they feeling like they're not top notch because they're not. And so they created this fashion, and where they would have skirts with these things called buckles, and it would make the behind pop out. And so if you've ever seen those art pictures where with the white women, and you're like, why does her butt look so big? Because they were imitating Sarah Bartman because they could never have what she had, and so they made sure to desecrate her in life and death, trying to be us, and they're still doing that today. If you do look at the Miley Cyrus video, and I would recommend that you don't, but if you want to traumatize yourself like that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that there was like a black woman, and I don't know if it was a padded behind or if it was real, I'm not sure, but it looked like she touched her behind during this whole twerking video that she was doing. So there was even symbolism in that they are jealous and in awe of what they can't have. Well, they can't have it now through surgery. And they're not doing stupid stuff like filling a butt with all kinds of toxic chemicals that's going to kill us like we are, getting some crazy crazy person to inject us with some rubber cement so we can have a big booty. They're actually going to a surgeon and then getting it and doing whatever. Like I can't say for sure. Ice-T's wife. Now that was a skanky bitch.
He financed that, man. He financed that whore, man. I don't care what nobody say, man. That is, man. She got that on credit, man. What's her name? Coco.
She got that. Gonna be Coco.
Huh?
How the heck her name gonna be Coco?
I know how her name Coco.
Like for real?
Man, that's not natural. That's not natural. And then how much of an imbecile are you as a black man to say that you don't want a black woman that's naturally in this state? But you gonna go create a Frankenstein behind, and now you're in love with this all on TV crying and sniffling over this putrid whore.
He did that? Are you serious?
Oh yeah, they had a reality show, and he renewed his vows to her, and he's all crying like this clown Kanye West. She's my joy. Kim Kardashian, that's your joy. She's a Peckerwood whore that got famous because of a sex tape, and she's my joy. Come on, man. I mean, we are so ridiculously out of our African minds. It don't even make sense. But going back to Sarah Bobman, yes, she was forced into prostitution, and they cut up her vagina, and yes, they kept it on display. And because we are so ignorant to think that these crackers have somehow changed their ways, are you familiar with that thing out of Sweden where they had a black woman's body formed in the fashion of a cake?
The cake, yes sir, yes sir.
And then you got these white females cutting up a cake that resembled Sarah Bobman's body, and they're just cutting out her vagina. Just savages, man. Just savages. But yeah, they're getting butt injections, their lips, all type of stuff to be on par with the black woman. And like you said, it goes back to Sarah Bobman. I mean, and even before then, when the Europeans came into Kemet and seen the statues of and all the writings on the pyramid walls of Queen Nefertari, Queen T, Hatshepsut, all of these women, black women, were dignified, deified, worshipped by the black man. And so, yeah, they want to be like you. They want to be you, black women. So they got to remove you and get you off the scene. And that's what we really need to realize as we chase their fashions. We chase their culture. We find that in order to succeed in this white capitalist system, you have to deny who you are, black woman. And your very identity is what can save us. Your natural hair, embracing your natural hair, embracing your natural features. Like Malcolm said, who told you to hate the color of your skin? Who told you to hate the texture of your hair? You've been taught these things by people that want to replace you.
That's true. I remember years and years ago when I was a young woman. I remember going to work every morning. I'd be at the bus stop, and it was always me and a crackerist there. And I remember she was one of those they give off a vibe. You can tell when they like black men. They give off a certain vibe. And I would just look at her, and she'd be standing there, and she was short. She was shaped like a boy, and she wear these tight pants. I'm like, shaped like a boy, which whatever. But anyway, so she'd be standing there every day, and she'd try to start off some small talk with me or whatever, and I just wouldn't talk to her. I'd be like, whatever. And she was like, what's wrong? You don't talk a lot. Is everything okay? I mean, she asked me that after a couple months of standing there, and I'm like, I mean, you're trying to be me. You can't be me. I don't need to talk to you. I mean, and I was rude. I used to be real rude. I was like, I actually told her I was like, I'm better than you. But I wouldn't do that today. I'd be a little bit more nice about it. But I'm just sitting there like, you're trying to be me, but you can't be me. Why do I want to associate with you? And I think a lot of us need to have more of that attitude because number one, you're trying to take our men who are a valuable resource. I don't want to see that. And number two, you're not cool. You don't like black women. I mean, come on. You might like what a black man can offer you. You don't like black women. So why are we so quick to want to be best friends and buddy buddy? It's no time for that. And so I had to cut it off real quick and just be like, no, I really don't have anything to say to you. I see what you're trying to do. You ain't gonna do it. You ain't got nothing on me. So, holler. I ain't got nothing to say to you. Um,
And sis, on that point though,
um,
You know what Dr. Bobby E. Wright said.
what's that?
Praise be his African name. He said that the majority of white females in the black community were brought there by black females.
Mm, I
He
wouldn't
said the
doubt it.
majority of white females that you see now running around with your men and doing all type of things, wreaking havoc in your communities. He said the majority of them were brought there by black females.
I wouldn't doubt it because they have to get a pass. I mean, they don't have to get a pass, but generally, actually, they do. We give them a pass. We don't like it, or we didn't used to like it, but yet the mama will let her come over for dinner. The sister will go be cool with her, go shopping. We like having that white chick in the crew. I don't understand what that's about. Um, Now, when you have knowledge of self, it's one thing if you're just out there and you don't know any better, but when you know yourself, I don't see that. I used to have a white best friend who used to be like that, but guess what? I know myself, so it ain't that kind of party no more. I
Right.
mean, sorry, it's just no, not like that no more. And we need to do a lot more than that because it's serious. I wanted to read from this book, but I forgot to get the passage. And I think it's called The Black Holocaust by Del Jones.
Oh yeah.
Is it
Oh
Black
yeah.
Holocaust? Where he was talking about, I don't know if you remember this part, in South Africa, how President Botha had talked about bringing in prostitutes from Europe,
Infected with
selling them to the
AIDS.
black community.
They were infected with AIDS.
I believe so.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and it seems like that goes on a lot. That they are actually used against us, and like I said, it's warfare, and we're falling for it. Our men are falling for it now. We're falling for it too. But I mean, especially I don't understand what the brothers are doing because y'all supposed to be leading the way, and I don't know what's going on. It's crazy.
Yeah, and not only that, Margaret Singer, white
I was gonna
female,
ask you about her.
responsible for the birth of the eugenics program, on how we can basically systematically through science kill massive amounts of black babies while appearing to help them, which she called the Negro Project. She went speaking engagements all throughout the South, speaking to the Klan, who said the best way to kill a black man is to kill him before he is born. She used the N-word. Um, and this program was the birth of Planned Parenthood. And we find Planned Parenthood giving out free, low-cost abortions, and we find the majority of them are in black neighborhoods. And they are heavily financed. Billions of dollars are given to Planned Parenthood today by your so-called black President Obama. Um, Not only that, Mary Stopes of Europe at the same time was pushing the eugenics program all throughout Europe. At the same time that this crack over here, Margaret Sanger, was plotting and doing so, killing black babies. So they have a history of being on the ground, getting their hands bloody with the blood of the sons and daughters of Africa. Not only that, Botha in South Africa was planning to send white females infected with AIDS throughout the black communities. Up north, up in Libya, you had Hungarian, I think it was from Budapest or Bulgaria, something like that. This was recently now. This is in the 21st century. You had white female nurses coming from Europe going into Libya giving vaccinations or medicine that was already tainted with AIDS and HIV, tainted with HIV, giving it to black African children. Now they were caught. This was international news. They were caught red-handed by the Libyan government, sentenced to death. They were supposed to be, but then they all got off.
They did. I think they were from France. Matter of fact, they were those freaky French people, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and I don't know how they got off, but they did. That's one thing I wish that Gaddafi would have done before they took him out was make them have some kind of repercussions, because they're still doing that. They're still going through Africa and kidnapping children either for the sex industry or for their organs, all kinds of stuff. And this could not be done without white women. This is not just, okay, well, the white man's the devil. Okay, well, who do you think is helping him in this? Just like the black woman is supposed to be a helpmeet for her man, and we're supposed to hopefully be helping him do good, who do you think is helping this white man do all the things that he's doing? He ain't doing it alone.
Exactly. And see, the white female, although oppressed as she is from her male, she still knows her role and she still plays her position. All of the leading feminists coming out of the 60s were happily married with children, and they were stay-at-home moms. But they gonna get you, black woman, out of your home raising your babies into the workplace to pick more cotton. So
Exactly.
they are very hands-on in the oppression of our people. There was another. There was a washerman. There was a washerman from Columbia University, and she studied how black males were predisposed to be sexually malicious and violent. So, with the research of a white female all throughout the U.S., you're seeing black males that are being either wrongly convicted or more harshly convicted. I believe there was a case down in Texas not too long ago where they wanted to stay the execution of a black male, but they went forward with the execution because they say he was more prone to violence because he was black. So all of this stuff is still happening, and it's at the behest of white females.
And of course, when she was coming to these conclusions, she never brought the white race and our enslavement or Mayapa into that as a reason, even though we know it's bogus anyway. But they never want to talk about that part of it. We're just born this way naturally, huh?
Right. I wanted to hit another. I wanted to hit another aspect. Two more aspects before we get off. There's a Susan Rosenberg.
Small hat.
Small hat. She had injected herself into the BLA back in the 70s and 80s. Now, the BLA was a branch that broke off from the Black Panthers, headed by Mtulu Shakur, who was the stepfather of Tupac. The BLA was doing revolutionary work. They were robbing banks, robbing armored trucks, and they were responsible for funding Zimbabwe's liberation. So these brothers were doing revolutionary work. Well, this Susan Rosenberg, along with some other whites from a group called Weather Underground, was supposed to be some radical whites. They interjected themselves into the BLA, financed them with weapons, getaway vehicles. We see this type of behavior in the Panthers on the West Coast with Huey and all of them. That motley crew was running with Jane Fonda, who they blessed her so graciously with the term as the White Panther. She was also financing getaway cars for them. So you see these white females being sent in as agents of white supremacy to bring down strong black militant organizations. You have organizations now running around calling themselves International Pan-Africanists, and they got white solidarity groups, white females in positions of power, and a so-called Black Help organization. So we still have not learned our lessons of the past. So in the 80s, in the 70s and the 80s, Susan Rosenberg, a white female, was in charge of driving the getaway car. They hit the armored truck. They got 1.6 million. She loses control of the car, turns it over. All of them get caught. Half of them get killed, and the rest are still locked down, like Mtulu. President Clinton, before he gets out of office, the two white females, they were sentenced to 60 years. The two white females get pardoned by Bill Clinton, and he leaves Mtulu and the rest in the prison to rot. But these two white females that was responsible for financing the guns and driving the getaway car, they're walking free right now, living respectable lives with their families.
Well, I'm shocked because wasn't President Clinton the first black president? I mean, how could he do that to us?
Right. Did you see him at the did you see old Billy Boy at the I Have a Dream Memorial up there crying?
No, I could not
Yeah,
bring myself to watch that.
this clown gave a speech and he started crying. I said, "Dad, he got us for another 100 years with that one." But
Oh, you gotta
and
wake up.
so they inject themselves in our movements to bring them down. You have all type of presidents and leaders. You got Kofi Annan of the UN running around with a white female. You had all type of presidents of African nations laying down with white dogs, compromising our liberation. And one other aspect I wanted to talk about is the fact that the white womb has become, as we say, the modern stock exchange to reclaim black wealth. When black men, or whatever area of expertise they're in, whether education, science, engineering, whenever they attain some semblance of success as predetermined by white society, they go out and they get them a white female. Like Kanye said, when they get put on, they're going to leave you for a white girl. This is exactly what we're seeing. And what we're not understanding is that white women outlive black males. They have a longer lifespan. So what's happening is all of this so-called wealth that we have as black men, we get with these white females. We die, and now all of that money that should have went into the black community, into our families, into our institutions, are now going right back into the white community. And so we have to wake up and really understand this. And one case study I want to bring up is Don Cornelius. Don Cornelius of Soul Train. The brother didn't have that much soul because he was playing slap and tickle with old Becky, and she got him. She got him. Now you know this cracker then maced him over several times. She maced him. And what happened to the notion that white women were passive and they submit to black men? Man, she
They'll beat you
maced this
down with a
Negro.
golf club.
She maced this Negro and slapped him upside his head. And he the one that caught the charge. He had to get out his own house. I mean, just macing the Negro. So, huh?
We got Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods done got beat down with a golf club.
Oh, he got smacked upside the head with a golf club.
Oh, she did her thing with that. Didn't Lionel Richie get beat down by a cracker too?
He probably did. But
I heard he was dealing with a kung fu cracker and she tore him up.
Yeah, milk and magnesia submitting, all right, going upside your head, fool. And then she get the payday. So Don Cornelius tries to get a divorce because he had 2 life insurance policies, and he went on record as saying, "I want to get out of this divorce, so this devil don't get my money." Well, there's a stipulation in the insurance policy that if he was to die at a certain time when he did commit suicide, if he had lived a few more months, she wouldn't be able to get the money. He died at just the right time that now this female, this white dog, gets all the money from this insurance policy to the sum of hundreds of thousands of dollars that should have went to his family, should have stayed in the hands of the black community, is now right back in the hands of whites.
And you know, a lot of times now they're not even patient enough to wait till they die. They just divorce you. With the divorce laws now, you marry that white woman, you know it ain't gonna last. You know, celebrity marriages do not last. So 2-3 years later, she gets tired of you, beat you with a golf club, divorce you. She takes the baby so she can brainwash them. She take your money. She out. You in the hospital with a daggone golf club stuck in your head, and the rest is history.
Oh man, I wish we could have talked more about the fact that black males that you find laying up with these white dogs, man, that's like a gateway drug to homosexuality, man. You know these putrid whores are all in type of probably sticking their finger up their anuses. I mean these I have no respect for a black male who would choose, of all the choosing the daughters of Africa, that's going to lay down with a European dog. I have no respect for you. And in my mind, you already got the red flag. You know, in soccer they throw the flags. You already got the yellow flag for being a homo because you want to lay down with this horse.
And that's actually funny you said that because I was going to talk about that next. I did want to address that too because I noticed, see, I never used to see the correlation. I was just always like, okay, well, you, with a white woman, you a sellout. But I don't know what happened somewhere in the mid 2000s. I started noticing there was men who I couldn't tell if they were gay or if they was in an interracial relationship. It was a lot of them. I was like, he a fag? And then I was like, oh, he ain't a fag. He with a white woman. So I started wondering, um, are they getting turned out by these white women, or are they with these white women because they may not know or may not care that these men are homosexual? Because there's a lot of things a black woman's intuition is going to pick up on, like, no, I don't think so. That a white woman does not have that same intuition, and they might be able to get over a little bit more with her. Or because she's white, she might be down with that freakiness a little bit more than we are, and it just might be okay. She might be like, cool, let's bring some more people in and do this like we in the cave.
Right, right. Yeah, they turning these brothers out, man. They on that sadomasochism and everything else. That's
It is, and I noticed. See, I don't be up on a lot of things. I kind of live under a shell, but the fact that a lot of white men who are married will pay black men to come and be with their wives, and I would suspect that a lot of times you ain't just gonna sit there and want to watch somebody having sex with your wife. Sooner or later, it's something freaky going on. I'm thinking you gonna want to jump in and get something somewhere, and I'm thinking that's how a lot of these brothers are getting turned out and effeminized because you thought you was gonna do some freaky deaky, and you go over there and it's a little bit more freaky than you thought it was gonna be, but you whoring yourself out for money, so you just let it ride and find out you like it, and now you bagging. I don't know.
that is quite true. That is quite true. I mean, and then the ignorance of brothers that didn't want to tell me and tell you with a straight face, oh, I'm the one getting over. Yeah, I'm getting back for slavery. Fool, she had you in slavery too. What you mean
Sure
you
did.
getting back? No, you getting turned out is what's happening.
Exactly, and you better do it, or else she gonna claim that you raped her, and you gonna get lynched. So you better go on and do that. Um, we're just so messed up. Can you, when we're talking about interracial dating, I know we had talked about it a little bit. You said some presidents in Africa. Is it true that Nkrumah was married to a white woman?
Yeah, I believe she was Arab, but either or, she wasn't no black queen. Uh, yeah, and hey, if the research is done, we probably find out how somehow she compromised the nation of Ghana. Because shortly after Ghana's independence, it slipped right back into neo-colonialism. So, and I love his policies, and I love the fact that what he did for the nation of the Gold Coast. But the truth still remains that he was educated here in the United States at Lincoln University, which had all white professors. So his rationale behind that, though, was that he wanted to foment peaceful relations with European countries. So he would take him a European wife to soothe over the savage beast. Yeah, okay.
Okay, like I see that working with different tribes in Africa. You might be able to do that to create some kind of bond and kinship because we are kinship kind of people. But I'm failing to see how you taking one of these European whores are going to cause some unity between us. I mean, they've been taking black women forever. We ain't united. I mean, it seems to me that would just tip them off more than create some kind of bond. And she probably, I'm guessing, I don't know nothing about her. I'm sure she was a low class one because we never get the high class. And she sure wasn't no duchess or princess. She was probably some trailer trash from the streets of Ireland or something.
Oh man,
it's demoralizing because it's like we don't have too many leaders we can look up to really as being leaders because most of them were involved in this kind of foolishness. So I don't feel comfortable teaching my children, okay, look up to this person and they're going to investigate and find out he was with a cracker. I mean, I can't tell him this is a great leader when they were a traitor. I believe you said one time that Martin Luther King originally wanted a small hat chick.
Oh yeah, he was on that train too. See, the whole integrationist, whether it's integrationist, Marxist, socialist, or even a black capitalist, the very core of that ideology is that they want to create the space in the white male's mind to allow them access to the white female.
Mm.
That's the whole premise of Marxism, socialism, black capitalism, and integration. Is we want to prove to you, white man, that we are on the same level as you. Now give us access to those white females. And in some cases, it goes beyond that. White males, like I said, yes, Nkrumah was educated at Lincoln University. He went to school with Langston Hughes, a notorious fag. He went to school with Carly Cullins, another notorious fag from the gay Harlem Renaissance. And he also went to school with No Good Marshall. Uh, no Good Marshall never treated his black woman with any respect. And after she died, he went out and got him some type of Asian woman.
Wow.
Yeah,
Frederick
so
Douglass.
Frederick Douglass.
As you busted him out so unmercifully.
Well, you see, going back to see, you gotta go back to how it may have not have started. Frederick Douglass was forced to wait on his slave master's daughter when Frederick was 5 years old. So who knows? It may not be documented, but she probably had her way with old Frederick Douglass boy over here. That is quite possible. From the age of 5 years old, he was made to wait hand and foot on the daughter of the slave master. So of course he would have grown up in some way idealizing her or making her his standard of beauty. And there's no telling what she may or may have not done to him. So whether we see strong black figures, whether in entertainment, the areas of politics, like Nelson, in politics, whether they go out and get them a white female, or whether they have a black female that they mistreat, like we see with Nelson Mandela and his treatment of Winnie Mandela. Um, all of it causes a strife in the relationships between the black man and the black woman. But since I don't know, because I know when I was growing up, it was taboo to see a sister with a cracker.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in D.C. A cracker might end up in an alley somewhere or floating down Potomac River if he had his hands, or thought he was going to have his hands on a sister.
Right. I never knew that was an option. I was in mid 2000s. I'm like, what's going on? That's an option. We can do that. Because that was just like so far fetched to us. But they say the system works. They've made us so disgusted with you and made y'all so disgusted with us that we're easy prey now. We're open for it because we don't have any unity whatsoever. We're at war with each other instead of with the people we should be at war with.
Exactly. Had you seen Color Girls? For Color Girls?
I did. I saw it once. It was a while ago, but yeah.
I mean, you got one black man throwing his children out the side of the building. You got another black male giving his wife AIDS. You got another black male savagely raping another female. I mean, that was horrible.
It's horrible, but it's genius because they know that those stories exist, and they know that is a sore spot for a lot of black women. So why not combine them and amplify them, magnify them, add the drama to it? And at the same time, we taking your money, we're emotionally devastating you and creating a bigger wedge between you and your man because you're thinking that your men are monsters.
It's pretty bad out here with the swirlies, the rise of the swirlies. When I'm out in public and I see a black male with a black woman, I either mug them or I just be like, boo. I boo interracials when I see them.
Yeah, I don't even give them eye contact, and that's one of the things I was going to ask you about was the solution. How do we make this better? How do we stop going in this direction? But that's one thing I do. I feel like you're not even worth my eye contact because number one, when I see a black man with a black woman, they either going to try to put her in my face like I'm supposed to be jealous, which please, or they're going to try to flirt with me. I've had
Mm.
several black men who walking their dogs or whatever, and they're just sitting there trying to talk to me and, oh, your hair, I love how you styled it, that's so cute. I had somebody do it like less than a month ago. I'm like, are you kidding me? He came to my job walking this dog, and I had a fro, had it out. And he's like, "Oh, I love your natural hair. That is so beautiful." So why are you with her? That's so beautiful. Why are you walking this little stringy head mutt through my building? I'm gonna need you to keep it moving. I don't need your compliments. I know my hair is cute. I don't need your compliments. So that's my solution. I don't know if it's the best one, but I try not feeding into it. Not even giving them the time of day because I feel like you should feel ostracized because especially black women, we make it so okay to do. You can still come to my house for the holidays. We can still hang out. I'm gonna still love you. And I think that we need to be like, nah, bro, you made your decision. Stick with it. Talk to me when you want to come back.
Right, right, right. I think at the core of that is the fact that the black man knows deep down inside that no woman on the face of this planet is capable of reciprocating and loving him the way that the black woman can. It cannot be done. It cannot be done, especially not by no white, filthy whore. I mean, a cadaverous whore. I mean, shapeless. Carla said, Miss 6 o'clock, straight up and straight down. Iron board backside. Caucasoid, white cave bitch. It can't be done. Not by them. We are the originators. The black woman is the originator. In the beginning was the black woman. In the beginning was the black woman. How dare we allow this cracker female to move in on the black woman? But when I see interracials, I boo them. When I see black couples, I tend to be more positive. Uh, Matter of fact, me and my woman, we were just at IHOP, and there was a young black couple. I mean, they look really good together, and we just started chatting it up with them, and we was like, "Hey, man, why don't we just turn this into a double date? Y'all come to our table, you know what I'm saying? And we just, have a good time." So
Aww.
I'm always being positive, and I'm pushing and affirming black love. It's nothing like black love. And at the same time, when I see a brother walking around walking his two-legged dog, I boo him. I get a thumbs down. Uh, all of that. I've actually almost gotten into a couple of fisticuffs because of that. Uh,
I
but
was gonna say
hey,
you've been getting into trouble lately. I'm gonna need you to take it down a notch because I ain't got no
hey,
bail money.
hey, I didn't smack the cracker. It was one. I smacked one cracker, and then I almost got to smack another cracker. So, hey, I've been feeling real good about it lately.
This is not Nat Turner Day. I'm gonna need you to refrain. He
Hey, and I smacked this crack at a Trayvon Martin rally.
probably deserved it. He probably
Oh
deserved it.
yeah.
I'll give you a
Oh yeah.
pass on that.
And then a black officer tried to apprehend me, man. It was crazy. But yeah, to resolve it, we got to re-socialize our people. Uh, this it's going to take the education of a generation to know that the black woman is beautiful, and the black man is her only companion, only suitable companion. I'm trying to think of some other things that we can do to really solidify black relationships. We need to have rites of passage. We have to bring those back. Those are essential. I was watching Amish Out of Order. You familiar with that?
No, that sounds like a bombshell though. I like shows
Oh
like that.
yeah, it is.
I'm gonna have to seek
uh,
that out.
I mean, these Amish, they have rites of passage. A woman in the Amish community, a young girl, at a certain age, she stops her compulsory school and she learns a trade, whether to sew, whether it's cooking. Um, but if she does not pass these tests, she cannot be married. She is forbidden. She cannot marry. And the same as a male, he stops his education at a certain time. He learns a craft, whether it's carpentry, husbandry, uh, um, uh, or whatever trade that they have or need in that community. And until he masters his craft and is able to support a family, he cannot marry an Amish woman. So it's very their culture saves them. And right now we have a culture that does not save us. We have a culture that tells the black man that it's okay to sleep around with a white female. In fact, not only is it okay, but that's a sign of status now. And we have a culture that tells black women that should nothing but objects of sexual degradation of the black male, and the only satisfaction, the only fulfilling, healthy relationship you can have is either with another black female or with a white male, or even another white female.
That's true. I was talking to somebody, I think on a program I did earlier in the week, with the sister, and she was saying in African culture, there is no adolescence. You're a child, and then you're an adult. That's it. There's no in between. And I don't think that we do that. That's why you have people in perpetual childhood into their 40s and 50s, because we think as soon as you hit 18, okay, you're an adult now. We don't think about, okay, I have to give my child a skill. I have to teach my child knowledge of self. I have to teach my child who their enemies are. I need to teach my child a trade. We don't do that. We just let them sit in front of TV, and then when it's time to kick them out, we kick them out. And that's one thing that I learned yesterday when I was talking to the group of teenage girls, is actually they're willing to listen. If you have somebody who's coming to them, not being judgmental, not telling them everything they're doing wrong, but just giving them advice on life, they'll be willing to listen, because a lot of us aren't getting that information from anybody else. And I think especially the people in the nationalist community who claim to be nationalists, we Facebook revolutionaries, maybe we need to get out a little bit more and start talking to the children, because the older ones, if you want to mess up and do whatever, you want to go into bestiality and walking your dog and all that stuff, that's on you. I really can't be concerned. You should know better. That's your decision. But, the babies are making some of these decisions, but they don't know better, and their mind can still be molded in the right way. A lot of them want to learn. They just, who's going to teach them, because mom and dad might not know any more than they do. So I had a real good group of people yesterday, and I think that's something that maybe I might start doing more of, and maybe more of us, because I also was thinking yesterday, these children, actually they weren't children, they were 18 to 21, I think, but these girls are willing to listen. But even if I teach them everything I know about womanhood and how to avoid pitfalls in life and how to grow up to be these people with a decent character, where are the men going to be? Because they're going to be ready, but there's not going to be a brother waiting for them, and that's like a sad reality. So I think we need to take it upon ourselves, start talking to the girls. Men need to start talking to the boys, because it makes no sense. I certainly wouldn't want my daughter getting with somebody who don't even have enough sense to pull his pants up.
Yeah, it's rough. Matter of fact, when I met when I met the woman I'm with now, I had talked to her mom on the cell phone, and her first question was, "Are you a homosexual?" I said, "Wow." Yeah, I said, "Wow." Well, I knew she came from good stock, and I was glad that I was asked that question. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, how far have we gone off the beaten path as a people, where that is even an issue? But it is an issue. So it's not a good look. It's not a good look.
It's not, but there better damn well believe it will not be no butt cleavage in my house. They cannot even think about it. There will be no butt cleavage in here, sitting on my couch in your drawers. I'm sorry. Not gonna happen.
Hey, I seen somewhere the other day, they said their jeans are so skinny that they can't put nothing in their pockets. So the next step, they're going to have to get pocketbooks to carry all their little artifacts around.
I believe it. I believe it. There was a video of a man whose son was wearing these skinny jeans, and he actually made him pull them up, and he couldn't because it was hurting. And he was like, "I don't care, pull them up." Just embarrassing him. But again, that was his mom, I believe, probably who bought him those pants and think it's okay to do. So, Yeah, we have a lot of work to do, but we definitely have to get started because the longer we wait and the longer we sit around philosophizing and not actually getting out there and doing anything, we getting further and further to that cliff.
That's true. Garvey said the black man won't know itself until his back is against the wall, and we saying, can't you feel the coldness of those bricks? So now it's time to 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 stand up, strap up your boots, and let's do this. Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy that we even have to have this conversation. I mean, how far fetched is it? I mean, can you imagine going back in time to the days of Harriet Tubman? And oh man, are you familiar with the Harriet Tubman sex tape?
Yes, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And something should have been done
That,
to him, and it's getting on my nerves that nothing is done to these people. We let all this ride.
yeah, that one has gone too long. And last I heard, the family was seeking payment from Russell Simmons. I guess that's supposed to justify it, but can you imagine
No.
Harriet Tubman and all of these personalities that fought for us to now we willingly lay down with the enemy? I mean, I couldn't imagine being in their shoes. I mean, I'm in my shoes fighting this war, but I couldn't imagine them who've already come before. They've already paid the price. They spilt their blood for us to have healthy black families, and then now for us to turn around and and, and do the things that we're doing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I heard, I'm not sure if there's been other developments. The last I heard, Russell Simmons was going to finance making a film or something about Harriet Tubman. And I'm like, this coon already showed you he don't respect your ancestor. Why would you want this low life fag coon to do a show on somebody as important as Harriet Tubman when you know he don't respect her already? I mean, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can to the family, but I don't get that. You know that it's not going to be done correctly. It's not going to be done in good taste. This is somebody who basically tried to, because some of our younger people don't know anything about this, they might think that she actually was sleeping with white men. I wouldn't doubt if he put something like that in the story or inferred it in some kind of slick way to make her seem like she was as much of a coon as this bag is.
Yeah, it's and I think that a part of our ability to save our people is to take them back to those days when we actually fought and stood up for something. And in order for us not to be able to do that, now they're, sodomizing that Turner and
Right.
turning Harriet Tubman. I mean, in the daggone thing, they had Harriet Tubman with a dildo on, pumping the slave master. I mean, it's just straight degradation of we have nothing sacred, and because we have nothing sacred, we're just running aimlessly throughout white society, as Garvey says, drinking all the poisons of Western civilization. Yeah, it's bad. So that's another solution I have to end this white female assault. We got to start making some coons pay. We got to start making them pay. Yeah, economically sanctioning these coons that push this filth, that destroy the image of the black woman while holding up the image of the white female. Um, um, like Lil Wayne said, that black woman is black. He said that black bee looks better red, um, and he's still being supported. You got Nicki
Big
Minaj out
bag.
there. Yeah, you got Nicki Minaj out there saying that black women are chimpanzee eating apes. I mean, banana eating chimpanzees.
Wow.
Yeah, she said, I'm the Terminator. I kill you nappy hoes. You need a Perminator. And black women love this. They are loving Nicki Minaj. And she's sitting there calling you a chimpanzee. So,
I don't know what to say about that because I've always heard about Nicki Minaj. I've seen her pictures, but I never heard one of her songs. So, a couple weeks ago, I just sat down and tried to watch a YouTube video. I just clicked on the first one I saw. And I felt like I lost about 35 million brain cells in the 3 minutes I could tolerate that damn video. It was horrible. I don't understand. We sunk so low, and then I feel bad because I feel like my father or something like this ain't real music. You know, when your parents would tell you that, but I'm like, for real? He had a nerve to say something about I'm all real, I'm real or something like that. I'm like, you the fakest person I've ever seen in my life. Are you even? I mean,
She
come
did a
on, it
one up
ain't a
on
part
Lil
on
Kim.
you. It's not plastic.
She did a one up on Lil Kim. That's it. Oh man, it's yeah. We Dr. Amos Wilson said, in order for us to survive in this society, we have to be backwards. We have to be backwards. In order for this system to continue, we have to be backwards.
We just have to change it around and start moving forward. But like I said, we all have to do our role. We can't just talk. It's time to actually start doing. And we know it's miseducation going on, so we have to start educating. And that's why I value you so much because you will dig deep and find stuff that nobody else anywhere knows. I don't know where you be coming up with this stuff at, but it's definitely a gift, and it makes you such a gifted lecturer to tell us stuff. Because I'd be listening like, okay, I know that. Like I used to call in. Sometimes you would call in a war on the horizon. I would be like, okay, I'm gonna be the first caller because I'm not talking after body shots because I have nothing else to say, and he ain't going to outshine me. Let me go on and get on there and coon for a minute and get off because he gonna be coming with some facts. So I'm gonna just pull out my pen. Now, do you have a lecture coming up in the next couple weeks?
Oh yeah, in 2 weeks, I'm doing a lecture at Howard University. It's called Sankofa: Return of the African Queen.
Oh wow, is that gonna be recorded?
I'm trying to work that out now because since I'm going in, no holds bar, uh, no holds bar. I mean, our daughters need to be saved. Yesterday, are you familiar with Juicy J?
Is that the twerking contest, dude?
Yeah,
There's so
he
many
gonna
coons, I'm getting them
give
all confused.
he gonna offer money to black women to that scholarship money for a twerk contest. I mean, so and then I was up on the campus of Howard when this story broke, and you had women just twerking all over the place. I mean, you are supposed to be coming here to get yourself together to to learn
I'm
your craft,
visualizing it. I know it's horrible.
start your career, rear a family, and be a decent, upstanding human being. And he calls black women just go just I mean off the deep end, just shaking their behinds all over campus. And it
I'm
was like,
surprised we ain't started a new line dance with twerking. Like we used to do the electric slide back in the day. I'm surprised they ain't started just a line dance twerk.
you know about the hobble,
Yeah.
wobble or something. I think that's close, but I mean, all of that's fine and dandy behind closed doors with you and your mate, but to be all out, I mean, it's not good. It's not good. But yep, that will be the lecture. It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. That's all I can say.
Well, we definitely need that. If you can get it taped, get it taped. I don't care if you got to tape it with a webcam or a cell phone because I want to see it. I don't care about the rest of the world. I'm just worried about me. I'm selfish. I want to see it.
Will do. Will do.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I haven't seen you in a while. You're going to have to bring your woman up here and visit again because it's been way, way too long. And I really thank you for coming on the show because I really just wanted a reason to say bitch and whore today. And I knew that you would be the one. You would be the perfect guest.
Hey, Kyla said, no matter what your definition of bitch is, a bitch is a two-legged white female. A two-legged dog. That's the definition of bitch.
Yes, sir. Well, we
Hey,
gonna.
sis,
Uh-huh.
I got a question.
What's that?
How come all of these black entertainers use their creative genius to come up with all of these words for black females? Scallywag, nappy-headed hoe, slut, roller, whores, bitches. But a white female is just a snow bunny. She ain't never changed.
You
How
know
do
what?
you use? Huh?
That's funny because some of those I haven't even heard before. I heard some new ones in there. I would say, number one, the small hats have paid them well, and number two, they've been taught to do that, and we've accepted it. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, black men really have to step up because men are supposed to be the protectors of women. Men are not supposed to be the ones exploiting their own women. That makes you not a man. And it's just amazing because I have a thing, I don't really show my face too much. I was going to start a TV show. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. But that's how this whole thing came about where people even see me because I like to be behind the scenes. But you wouldn't believe some of the messages that I got. Most of them were respectful, but it was some people who were a little, crazy with it. And I'm like, if you're talking to me like this and expecting me to take it as a compliment, and I'm covered, I'm presenting myself, respectfully, I'm married, I can imagine what you would say to the sister on the street who don't know any better. And so, it's almost like I was telling them yesterday, it's almost like a predator prey kind of relationship. And we don't need predators for men. We need protectors for men. And so when more black men are willing to stand up and be the protectors instead of pouring themselves and their race out for easy money, which is a feminization in itself, which is on the way to being a fag in and of itself. Because once you stop being a protector, you're not a man. You might as well bend over and whatever you want to do. I don't even want to think about that. You might as well because you're not a man at that point. So we have not a whole race of men, but a race who, we're having some problems in that manhood department.
That's true. And if no black woman can resist the true God essence that exists in a well-made black man. She can't do it. And so the fact that she's not doing it shows that the opposite is true. There ain't no real black men out there that's representing like that. But I got just a funny story, and then I'm gonna let you go. Me and my lady, we was leaving the grocery store. Well, she had went in, and I went to go get the car. I went to go get the car, or whatever. So she wouldn't have to, we could just keep it moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as I get out of the car, it's like two black males walking behind her, and like I see her facial expression is like less than savory. So I'm like, well, what's going on? And she would not tell me. She would not tell me what was going on until we got like way across town, and then she told me that that these two black males was trying to holler at her. But when she didn't give them any feedback, they called her a nappy-headed hoe and bitch and all this other kind of stuff, right? So, I mean, yeah, we gotta clean it up. But I just thought it was like because she's with a real black man, so she knows that I would have went over there and ripped this daggone tongue out the back of his throat for disrespecting my woman. And that's what it's going to take, is for black women to see real black men standing up, protecting the black woman, as you said. And that's what it's going to take. Stand up, black man.
That's true, and I'm laughing because I've done the same thing. Note to men, if you ask what's wrong with your woman and she waits to tell you for like 15, 20 minutes, you probably should just get out the car and beat somebody down right then. That's why she ain't telling you, because she already knows. Somebody done got real out of pocket, and you would be getting out of that car and busting some heads if you knew what to say. Because they say some wild stuff. I'm not, I don't even know if I should tell the story, but you know what? I ain't even gonna tell that story because I know it was a joke, but it was very disrespectful. But
how about,
yeah, I need to get it together.
How about the male that was trying to talk to her, call her a nappy-headed hoe? He had dreads though.
Wow.
I'm like, man, our people are sick, man.
Wow. But yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I was going to try to analyze that some kind of way, but I don't really even know how to analyze that. But that's one thing. I mean, a lot of black men are like that. I've even heard with dark-skinned men. They can be very, very dark-skinned, but they don't want to date a female that's dark-skinned. It's like being black is okay if you're a man, but if you're a woman, you're expected to be anything other than black. And that's why I tell black women stay away from that class of black men who have self-hatred. They might be cool with their dark skin and they nappy hair and all that, but if they don't accept you the same way, then I mean, you might as well be not might as well be dating a cracker. I would never say that, but they got the cracker mind. So
Right,
it seems like
right.
you are.
Well, I approached this female one time. It's the funniest thing. This is before I even became conscious. I ain't know nothing about being an African or nothing like that. I was just a coon and Negro, going to hockey games and everything back then. But I had approached this black female. She was a beautiful young lady too, and she was light skinned. And I went and I started talking to her, started rapping. She was like, "Hold it, stop." She was like, "Dark skinned brothers are not in season." I was like, "Oh my goodness." Yeah, she stopped me midstream in my flow. Dark skinned brothers are not in season. I was like, man.
You know what happened to me the other day? I've been taking this training, and it was the last day of training, and I was gonna walk from where the training was to the gym, get a quick workout in. So I'm walking, and it was like involving like counseling and sexual assault. So after being sitting in there for 9 hours, I'm sure my face was like, don't mess with me. It's probably mean was I didn't mean it to be, but that's just how it was. After hearing that kind of stuff for that long, and it was a homosexual assault, I got hetero bashed for like 2 weeks. But that's another story for another time. So I was pissed off. I'm not gonna lie. So I was walking down the street, and this dark skinned brother was like, "Smile, sister." And I looked at him, and I was like, "Oh, I must have been looking at me." And I smiled at him and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And then he had a light skinned friend. He was like, "Yeah, smile, sister. You light skinned. You know we the best." I was like, right. And so I'm like, should I? I'm not going to cuss him out. This is downtown Detroit, and he looked like he could probably catch me if I ran. So I'm not going to cuss him out. But I'm just like, come on now. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. It's one thing if you have a preference, but that should not. It can't be like that. It can't be like that. I know plenty of people with dark skin preferences or light skin preference or nappy hair preference or dreadlock preference, afro preference, whatever. You're attracted to what you're attracted to some extent. But when it goes into the realm of self-hate and
Right.
disrespect and exclusion, where I'm going to only date a light-skinned girl, I'm not going to look at a dark-skinned girl, or vice versa.
Right.
I'm sitting there looking at him like, you celebrating the rape of your people. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You celebrating the rape of your people. You a coon. So right now, even if I was single, you wouldn't have a chance with me because you just disgusted me with that. I'm completely disgusted. Coon.
Oh my. This has been an amazing program. I
I
had
know it
fun.
would be. That's why I wanted you on.
Yeah.
Well,
But thanks for
again,
having me.
oh, you're welcome. Now, where is your lecture going to be again?
Howard University.
Okay, Howard University
I'm
in
going to the
2 weeks.
belly of the beast. The small heads run the campus.
Yeah, that and fags. Fags
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Now, what time is the lecture in case somebody wants to come out and support you? Is it open to the public or just students?
I'm not sure if it's open to the public yet, but it's going to be, I think it's from 8 to 10 on a Tuesday night. So,
Okay. And I'm gonna see if I can get the bootleg version of it. It might be a bootleg cell phone copy. I might have to stick it on up, but we'll see what we can do about that. Again, thank you for the opportunity to cuss and use profanity. I don't get that opportunity too long. Usually I try to keep it in, but we got to do it sometimes.
well, the white bitch has had it coming for a long time. She's not a Barbie. She's a bitch.
She's a bitch. Yes, she is.
She got
Verdict.
done in today.
That's right. But we're going to go on and end the program. It will be available on YouTube in just a little while. And again, I thank you so much. It was always a pleasure to have you here with me.
Baby Fahodie.
BB Fodier.